AI is not coming for your job. It is coming for your value. And most people are not ready for that reality. The conversation around AI is still too comfortable. People talk about tools, productivity, and convenience, but they avoid the deeper truth. AI is not just improving work. It is replacing the kind of work that requires no real thinking. If what you do can be predicted, repeated, or automated, then it is already being targeted. This is not a future problem. It is happening now, quietly and consistently. Most people believe experience will protect them. It will not. Years of doing the same task do not make you valuable if that task can be done faster, cheaper, and more accurately by a machine. Loyalty does not matter. Effort alone does not matter. The market only rewards relevance, and AI is rapidly redefining what relevance means. The brutal truth is simple. Average is no longer safe. Being good enough is now a risk. AI performs at a level that used to be considered above average, and it does it instantly. That means the gap between people who think and people who follow instructions is becoming very clear. Those who rely on being told what to do are the first to be replaced. What remains valuable is not task execution, but decision-making. Not repetition, but judgment. Not speed, but direction. AI can generate answers, but it cannot take responsibility for outcomes. That responsibility still belongs to you. If you are not developing the ability to think independently, solve problems under pressure, and adapt without guidance, then you are slowly becoming irrelevant. Another hard truth is that comfort is the biggest threat. The easier your work becomes, the less you grow. AI will make many jobs easier, but that ease comes with a cost. If you stop pushing yourself because the system does the work for you, your skills will decline. Over time, you will depend on the very thing that is replacing you. People who survive this shift are not the smartest or the most talented. They are the most adaptable. They learn faster than the environment changes. They are willing to become beginners again and again. They do not protect their old identity. They rebuild it. You must understand this clearly. AI is not your competition. Your lack of evolution is. The people who win in this new reality will use AI as a tool, not a crutch. They will direct it, question it, and improve it. They will focus on skills that cannot be easily automated, like critical thinking, communication, leadership, and creativity under constraints. If you want to be irreplaceable, you need to become someone who creates value that cannot be copied. That means developing insight, not just knowledge, discipline, not just motivation, execution, not just ideas, because in the end, AI will not replace you, but someone who knows how to use it better than you will. Most people are underestimating how fast this shift is happening because the change does not look dramatic from the outside. There are no loud announcements when someone becomes less needed. No clear moment when a company decides you are no longer valuable. It happens in small decisions, fewer responsibilities, less involvement, slower growth, until one day you realize you have been replaced in everything but your job title. AI does not remove people all at once. It removes the need for them, step by step. A report that used to take 3 hours now takes 10 minutes. A task that required a team now requires one person with the right tools. A role that depended on effort now depends on output. And when output becomes easier to produce, expectations increase. The same work that once made you stand out now becomes the baseline. This is where most people fall behind. They confuse activity with progress. They stay busy, but they do not improve. They complete tasks, but they do not expand their thinking. They rely on routines that worked in the past, ignoring the fact that the environment has already changed. And in a world driven by AI, staying the same is the fastest way to become invisible. You need to understand that your value is no longer tied to what you do. It is tied to how you think. AI can follow patterns, but it cannot question them with intent. It cannot challenge assumptions based on real-world consequences. It cannot take ownership when something fails. That is your role, but only if you are willing to step into it. Becoming irreplaceable means moving away from execution and toward direction. You must learn how to define problems clearly, not just solve them. You must be able to see what others miss, not just repeat what already works. This requires focus, and most people have lost that ability. Constant distraction, short-term thinking, and the need for quick results are making people weaker at the exact moment they need to become sharper. Another reality is that information is no longer an advantage. Everyone has access to the same knowledge. AI can generate explanations, strategies, and ideas in seconds. What separates people now is not what they know, but what they do with what they know. Execution still matters, but it must be intentional. Random effort is no longer enough. Discipline becomes critical in this environment. Not the kind of discipline that pushes you to work longer hours, but the kind that forces you to think deeper, to question your own work, to refine your decisions, to stay consistent even when there is no immediate reward. Because the results of this kind of effort are not visible right away, most people avoid it. That is exactly why it becomes valuable. You also need to become comfortable with uncertainty. AI will continue to evolve, and no role is completely safe. Instead of trying to protect your position, you need to build your ability to adapt. Learn new skills before you are forced to. Take on challenges that stretch your thinking. Put yourself in situations where you are not in control, because that is where real growth happens. The people who wait for clarity will fall behind. The ones who act despite uncertainty will move ahead. Be irreplaceable by becoming someone who leads change, not someone who reacts to it. There is one final shift most people are not prepared for. It is not about losing jobs. It is about losing identity. For years, people have defined themselves by what they do, their role, their title, their routine. But AI is forcing a separation between who you are and the tasks you perform. And if your identity is built only on your function, then when that function changes, you feel lost. This is why many people resist change, even when they know it is necessary. They are not protecting their job. They are protecting their sense of self. But in this new reality, holding on to an outdated version of yourself is the fastest way to fall behind. You cannot stay attached to who you were if you want to become who the future requires. Being irreplaceable is not about becoming perfect. It is about becoming adaptable at your core. You must be willing to question your own habits, your own thinking, and your own comfort. You must accept that what made you valuable yesterday may not matter tomorrow. And instead of resisting that truth, you need to use it. AI will continue to evolve, but it will always lack one thing: human depth. The ability to understand context beyond data. The ability to connect ideas across different experiences. The ability to lead people through uncertainty, not just provide answers. These are not soft skills. They are survival skills now. You need to train yourself to think in layers. Not just what works, but why it works. Not just what is happening, but what it leads to. This level of thinking cannot be automated easily, because it requires awareness, experience, and reflection. And that only comes from deliberate effort over time. Another hard truth is that no one is coming to guide you through this. There is no clear roadmap, no guaranteed path. You have to build your own direction. That means taking responsibility for your growth without waiting for permission. It means learning without being told. It means improving without being forced. Most people will not do this. They will wait until pressure forces them to change. By then, it is already too late. The advantage always belongs to those who move early, who prepare before the need becomes obvious. You have a choice. You can become dependent on AI and slowly lose your edge. Or you can use it as a tool to sharpen yourself, to expand your thinking, and to increase your impact. The tool itself is not the problem. Your approach to it is. In the end, being irreplaceable is not about competing with machines. It is about refusing to become one. Final, lesser so, and if you remember one thing, let it be this: your value is not in what you do repeatedly. Your value is in how you think when things change. Train your mind. Challenge your comfort. Stay adaptable, because the future will not reward the most experienced. It will reward the most aware.